Explanation of Article 294 of the Indian Constitution. Article 294 of the Indian Constitution deals with the succession of property, assets, rights, liabilities, and obligations from the British rule to the newly formed Union of India and its states after independence. Key points of Article 294. Transfer of property and assets. Before India's independence, all property and assets of the government of the Dominion of India and Gunners provinces were vested in His Majesty, British Crown. After the commencement of the Indian Constitution, 26 January 1950, all such property and assets were transferred to the Government of India, Union, and the respective states. Transfer of rights, liabilities, and obligations. Before independence, the Dominion of India and the Gunners provinces had various contracts, agreements, and obligations. After the Constitution came into effect, all such rights, liabilities, and obligations became the responsibility of the Indian government and the respective state governments. Impact of partition, Pakistan, and new provinces. Adjustments had to be made due to the creation of Pakistan and the new provinces of West Bengal, East Bengal, West Punjab, and East Punjab. Some properties, liabilities, and obligations were divided between India and Pakistan under the Indian Independence Act of 1947. Purpose of Article 294. Ensures a smooth transition of governance by clearly defining which government, union or state, gets control over property, assets, and obligations. Prevents legal disputes regarding ownership of government resources. Lays the foundation for the financial and administrative structure of the newly independent India. Conclusion. Article 294 legally transferred the property, assets, rights, and obligations of the British Indian government to independent India and its states. This was crucial for the functioning of the Indian government and its administration after independence. The Constitution of India. Part 12. Finance, Property, Contracts and Suits. Chapter 3. Property, Contracts, Rights, Liabilities. Obligations and Suits. Article 294. Succession to property, assets, rights, liabilities and obligations in certain cases. As from the commencement of this Constitution. A. All property and assets which immediately before such commencement were vested in His Majesty for the purposes of the Government of the Dominion of India and all property and assets which immediately before such commencement were vested in His Majesty for the purposes of the Government of each Gunners province shall vest respectively in the Union and the corresponding state, and B. All rights, liabilities and obligations of the Government of the Dominion of India and of the Government of each Gunners province, whether arising out of any contract or otherwise, shall be the rights, liabilities and obligations respectively of the Government of India and the Government of each corresponding state, subject to any adjustment made or to be made by reason of the creation before the commencement of this Constitution of the Dominion of Pakistan or of the provinces of West Bengal, East Bengal, West Punjab and East Punjab.